Nothing Personal starts in 30 seconds. It's just business. This is Nothing Personal.
Here you go. Here you go.
Fourth. That's the Nothing Personal word of the day. This fourth month of the year 2025 and the 15th day of said month. Tax day, baby. Pay your taxes or get an extension. Don't be like people who don't do it, because there's still 17 employees left and you never know what could happen. And as my grandfather used to say, no one ever got poor paying taxes. April 15th, 2025. Mat Ishbia, thank you. Just going to start there. I'm in a good mood. It's a Tuesday, halfway through the month. The gift that gives and gives to me, doing a show with you every day for an hour, 50 minutes, thinking about what to talk about, and then boom, yesterday, the anvil drops and Coach Mike Budenholzer gets fired. Exactly as we told you he would, in a wait to see that we did just last Thursday, April 10th, 2024, when the Suns got eliminated from the playoffs and Ishbia went Ishbia, and we showed you the video from a year ago when he said, who wouldn't want to be us? And we said, just about anybody. And we said that Budenholzer will get fired. Well, that's a wait to see. Yes. On davidsamsonpodcast.com, you can see all the wait to sees, what we get right, what we got wrong. Budenholzer's a genius. He's my person of the day. He's not my pick of the day, but man, is he my person of the day. I think that here's what's happening. I think that Frank Vogel and Mike Budenholzer are going to lunch today. They didn't schedule it yesterday because it was the first day he was fired, but they're waiting till today. And they're going to go to lunch together. And they're going to say, do you want to buy me lunch? I'm happy to buy you lunch. I'm so sad you got fired. No, Frank said, I'll buy lunch. I'm still getting paid tens of millions of dollars from Ishbia. And Budenholzer says, wait a minute, I'm getting paid tens of millions of dollars from Ishbia. They look at each other. They order a Dom Perignon, a little bottle of Camus, a little shrimp cocktail, maybe a lobster roll, and they laugh, although it's Passover, maybe some matzah brie, and maybe a Manischewitz panned cake. And they say to each other, can you believe this moron? He's willing to pay tens of millions of dollars for me not to coach. And Monty Williams says, hold my beer, boys, and get me a whiskey. Because he's being paid tens of millions of dollars, because he's another former Suns coach who went to the Pistons. Then the Pistons fired him, and he's now coaching his kids in high school, getting paid 10 plus a year. What a gig. Get hired by Mat Ishbia, get fired by Mat Ishbia. You win at life. Do you think Budenholzer woke up this morning despondent beyond repair that he doesn't have to coach a team that is overpaying Beal and Booker and Durant and finish in 11th because they stink, and Ishbia and his son, the president, nothing wrong with nepotism, and his son, the president, they're going around making trades, making decisions. James Jones, the current general manager, is looking around and saying, where's Riley? Where's Ellsberg? These guys are ridiculous. James Jones is the GM of the Phoenix Suns. His contract ends up in June. He's not going to get renewed either. It's going to be a fresh start for Mat Ishbia so he can meet the media. But after firing a coach, he said, we got to release a statement. And you know, nothing personal. We enjoy statements. Do you know, as fans, because you're all fans, we're all fans. I'm a fan, you're a fan. Wouldn't you like to be a fan too? We deserve better. That's what the Suns said. I wonder what that means. What exactly do we deserve? I always like that when you fire someone and you have to say the normal things. You have to say that we want sustained greatness. We want to compete for championships. Check, check. Page 2 of the You're Fired playbook. No problem. Then there's the one that I don't love using, but it's very commonly used. Fans deserve better. I just want to make sure that we're clear that when I pay to see a movie and the movie stinks, that the last thing I say is, my God, I deserve better. I spent my money to watch this movie. I spent my time. I'll never get it back. And the movie was bad. I deserve better. Well, here's another alternative. I could have not seen the movie that got a 2.9 on IMDb. Or you get what you deserve. People who are fans of the Suns, I guess it's the only team in town that's a basketball team. Maybe they're fans, Coca, of the Phoenix Coyotes. I wonder if those fans deserve better. All they got to do is schlep to Utah and they got themselves a team. The Cardinals. Why do sports fans deserve anything? We deserve your best. But the statement continued because I just have to read it to you. This is a true statement. God love you, Ishbia. Competing at the highest level remains our goal. Whew, that's epic. I mean, you want to talk about putting a sentence together with nouns and verbs and adverbs, and you want to talk about explaining to people what your raison d'être is. What is your reason to be? What do you do for a living? What's the goal of your organization, of your business? It's like owning a stationery store. Selling stationery remains our goal. Amazon, delivering toilet paper remains our goal. But for the Phoenix Suns, competing at the highest level remains our goal. And, true, this is the statement, we failed to meet expectations this season. Our fans deserve better. Change is needed. That, I don't disagree with you, Matt, but here's the change that's needed. It's you, my friend, my fellow countrymen. The change that we all need and deserve is you looking in the mirror and saying, all right, I've had enough of my new owner-itis affliction. I think it's time to hire people and actually let them run the team. Let me see if I can talk to George Steinbrenner. I'm going to need a seance, but I'm going to try. George would say, man, when I was involved, we stunk for like a decade. Then I got thrown out of baseball, and all of a sudden we bring in Joe Torre, Brian Cashman. The baseball people do what the baseball people do, and boom, we had ourselves a bit of a win streak in 1996 through 2000. But here's the best part about the Suns. The best part about the Suns is that Mat Ishbia got together with his CEO, a guy named Josh Bartelstein, and they said, here's the plan. The plan is we're going to put a bunch of players together because we know more than everybody else. We're going to be completely involved in trade negotiations and team operations. We're not going to meddle. We're going to go Jerry Jones, but we're not going to name ourselves the GM, which means you haven't gone Jerry Jones, which means you're a wuss, but we're going to do it anyway. And we're going to have the top payroll in all of basketball. This is going to be great. We're going to go to $214 million. Now, it's not ideal, but we'll pay. I'm laughing because can you imagine this conversation between Ishbia and his CEO? Listen, we're financial geniuses. Forget all the stuff we do with mortgages. Go watch Pablo Torre Finds Out. Forget all that. But we're going to pay $150 million plus in luxury tax payments. So we're going to pay $214 to players, $152 to the league. That's going to be $366 million. And I think we're going to be a play-in team. Little did they know that they were not even a play-in team. They were not a playoff team, period. How does that work? At what point do you get together and say to yourself that the system I have in place for running a business, the way that I've done sales or marketing, or what about you? What do you say about a relationship when it's not the relationship you want, or you're not having the feelings or the fun or the love, or you've gone full Barry Manilow and you've lost that loving feeling? What do you do? Some people, they try to get it back. Some people recognize it'll never come back and they got to make a change. It's the same in any business. If you know that your business isn't making it, you got a few choices. You could try to grow it and expand, change your product, or shut her down. When you run a sports team, you never view it that way. It's the most bizarre thing that's in our brain. What's in our brain is not, oh my God, we've made all these mistakes. We haven't gotten a trade right. Our free agent signings stink. Our draft has been terrible. This is absolutely a nightmare. We lost 100 games. No. What our thought process is, the next signing we make, we're going to find the next Vladimir Guerrero. The next trade we make, we're going to trade for a player no one's heard of. He's going to be Dontrell Willis. The next free agent signing we make is going to bring us a World Series the way Pudge did. You always assume that everything you've done that was wrong, and you use the same processes, but you make up a bunch of stuff. You hire a bunch of people in analytics, and you pretend you're hearing voices from more people other than yourself, and you make decisions, and then you get the same results. Can you imagine when Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and Bradley Beal got the news? Fourth coach in Mat Ishbia's tenure. The guy's only been there 3 years. It's a coach a year. Now, that's my kind of guy. Even I didn't do that, but I get it. Believe me, I've been honest with you. Firing managers, that's my gig. But this, come on. Devin Booker will be on his 8th coach since 2015. It puts a tear in my eye. The Phoenix Suns went through as an organization the nightmare that was Robert Sarver. Remember that? Remember the investigations, the lawsuits, the workplace, the nightmare. In comes the white knight. No pun for color intended. He rides in. My name is Mat Ishbia, and do you want to buy a house? Do you want to? That sounds like a song from Wicked or some play, some musical, Coca. Do you have it in your head? Do you want to be a blank? Could someone get to me, David P. Samson? Yes. Do you want to build a snowman from Frozen? Do you want to coach the Suns? Mat Ishbia says, I'm not Robert Sarver. I'm going to be way better than that. In conclusion, Budenholzer is the single happiest person in America today. The number one. Not the Supreme Court saying, no, 9-0 is going to get it done in El Salvador. No, not that. Not David Samson and Matt Coca saying, look at us. Here we are, 13 minutes in, 37 to go until the week's over. Is today Friday? Today is Friday. It's not Friday. I don't know the day. And time out. I'm having a moment. It is 2. Whoa. That actually just happened to me, Matt. All right. Edit that out for me, because that makes me look ridiculous, because it's Tuesday. So people are going to think that, why would I think it's Friday, or that I'm not doing shows the rest of the week, which I am, by the way, from a different time zone starting Thursday. Ready? 4869. Hi, I'm David Samson. Welcome to Nothing Personal. Do you know who the happiest person in America is on Tuesday? Budenholzer. Speaking of wait to sees, we got the Budenholzer one right. You know what we didn't get right? On July 2nd of 2024, that is the end of last season, I told you that the Lakers would be no higher than a 7 seed this coming season. I have to take a no on that wait to see. Go back to the show on July 2nd of 24. I have to go back and listen, because there's no way that I knew they would trade for Luka. Who would have known that? But that's a no on the wait to see. So Budenholzer is on the phone yesterday to his family. Hey, I got canned. Hey, we're rich. Hey, it's all good. Hey, the Bucks fired me. I won a championship. A few years later, I'm fired by the Suns. I didn't win anything, but we're still being paid. We're good. Is there anyone else we could talk to who feels as good as we do? So he has lunch with Vogel and Monty Williams, and then they get a call. Hello? Hi, it's David Griffin. Hi, can we help you? Yeah, I just got fired by the Pelicans. Can I come to lunch? Well, are you being paid for 4 more years, over $10 million a year? Well, no, but I won't order as much. Maybe I'll just get the Cobb salad, bacon on the side, dressing on the side with extra crumbled blue cheese, and maybe a little extra onion and maybe a little chicken breast. David Griffin. Do you know what job he had? I don't know if you know this. He was in charge of the New Orleans Pelicans. He was their executive vice president, which is another word for general manager. And the New Orleans Pelicans and their esteemed, brilliant owner, Gail Benson, who has a proclivity to like to give money to put certain things under the table with people who are already doing things under the table. She decided, you know what the problem is with our New Orleans Pelicans? We need someone to choose better. Zion Williamson. He only played 30 games. That's not that great. Brandon Ingram. He only played like 18 games, and then we traded him to the Raptors. He never played again, but I guess that didn't work. And by the way, it's got to be Griffin's fault that DeJounte Murray fractured his left hand in the season opening game, which was so long ago, back in October, against the Chicago Bulls. Their big three played together this season for New Orleans. Their big three played together for a total of, wait for it, a donut. And I don't mean games. I mean minutes. Not 1 minute did those three players play together. You got to blame someone with injuries. I figure you fire the full strength and conditioning staff, fire your trainer, fire a few assistant coaches who may be in charge of carrying the Band-Aids. And Mike Saunders, you know I love you, trainer of the Knicks. I think about Danny Whalen all the time. Mike Saunders, who was there so long. Can you imagine being blamed for what's going on with the Pelicans? So Gail Benson fires David Griffin, and she says, I got to make a statement, because Gail Benson's really good at making statements. And this was it. It's always a problem when you do something and there's a violation that took place yesterday. There's actually several violations, but let's talk Gail Benson. We already gave you the violation from Ishbia. Here's Benson. This was a difficult decision. Why do we always say that? I've changed managers and GMs so many times. I got to tell you, none of them were really difficult decisions because we were terrible and I didn't want to fire myself. It seems sort of easy. But we have this need somehow through statements when we're executives or owners or presidents. We have this need to say to you, you have no idea how hard this was. You could never do what I do, because we sit around and we light a candle, maybe light up a little hookah, some incense, and man, it's so difficult. We sweat over it. We go visit our seance person. But then Gail Benson kept going. She said, this was a difficult decision, but that's my favorite, because but, obviously when you do but, there's a meaning of the word but, one T, but one that I feel is necessary at this time to bring a fresh approach to our front office and, you're going to laugh, build a culture that will deliver, here it is, sustainable success on and off the court. Check. Page 2 of the statement release when you fire somebody. Sustainable success, because the Pelicans have had sustained failing, but now you get rid of Griffin, you bring in someone else, you keep Gail Benson doing what she does, and you're going to have sustained success. But then she kept going. I am committed to hiring the right person to lead our basketball operations department and deliver an NBA championship to our city. Thank the Lord. And believe me, Gail Benson spends a lot of time thanking the Lord. She said she's committed to hiring the right person. That's good, because I'd hate to think that she was committed to hiring the wrong person, because then it would be sort of what it's been. But now she's committed to hiring the right person. And then her statement ended with the money sentence. And we all know money sentences are awesome, because guess what, folks in New Orleans? I'm committed to hiring the right person because, quote, This is what our fans deserve. Call back, because I guess people in Phoenix have fans who deserve. Now people in New Orleans have fans who deserve. Same day, same statement. So many deserving fans. It warms the cockles of my heart. Do you think there's going to be a different result with the New Orleans Pelicans, given the fact that they have Zion Williamson, who can't stay healthy, hard stop? Now, it's true that you can't control injuries. So Gail Benson, right after calling the church to make sure everything was copacetic, picked up the phone and called Adam Silver and said, Adam, I got a question for you. You think that Joey D would be interested in running our team? And Silver said, Joe Dumars, the guy who was running the Pistons from 2000 to 2014, the backcourt mate of Isaiah Thomas, who has the championship rings, the guy who now runs basketball operations for the commissioner's office, that Joe Dumars? Yes, Gail said, that Joe Dumars. I see him at owners' meetings. He seems really good. Do you think that he would like to run a team again? Adam Silver. Hey, Joe, you in the office today? I know we got a lot of stuff going on, but I got to talk to you. Before I give your name out to somebody, do you want to run a team again? Do you want to get back into that slop? Do you want to get back to worrying about wins and losses and salary caps and aprons and figuring out whether or not a player is going to play or whether they hurt their sphincter muscle and can't play? Just curious. Are you interested? And Joe said, I would, because I love the competition. I love the winning and losing. I want to be there. I want to win another ring. The feeling of having a stake in the action and in the results. I'm in. Please, who is it? Is Gail Benson. What? I can't hear you. Did you say Mat Ishbia? No. I didn't say, Joe, who do you think I am? Adam said. I would never have you run the Phoenix Suns. Oh, is it the Heat? Is it the Celtics? Is it the Pistons? Gail Benson. Well, is it because I'm from there? Like, why would Gail Benson want me? I represent almost everything that she has complete contempt for, because I'm going to want to be in charge. I'm not going to want to deal with her. And by the way, I'm really not going to want someone who does the sort of thing that Gail Benson does. But I'm always happy to listen. Why? Because Joe Dumars secretly got a call from Budenholzer and from Vogel and said, dude, if you can get a job for Ishbia or for Benson, get over $10 million a year, and then get canned, you can have lunch with us. Speaking of people who work in the commissioner's office, who used to run teams, full disclosure, my friend is Michael Hill, the former president of baseball operations for the Miami Marlins. Worked with him from 2003 until 2017. We continue to be friends to this day. Yes, that Michael Hill, who I ran around the world with in 2018 when he was still running the Marlins after I'd been canned, but had to pretend he wasn't with me because Derek Jeter didn't want him to be with me. Yes, that Mike Hill. He was named the general manager just the other day of the World Baseball Classic USA team, which is a very amazing honor. He's putting together a team, and he announced his coaching staff the other day. And a shout out to a former Nothing Personal Samson sit-down guest and a former manager of mine who hired and fired and then rehired again. Love you, Freddie. Freddie Gonzalez is on the staff. Another former Marlins manager, Skip Schumacher, not mine. He replaced Mattingly. He's on the staff. The old pitcher of the Yankees, Andy Pettitte, Matt Holliday, you may remember him. Brian McCann, the catcher, you may remember him. What an all-star staff of managers who are all going to help Mark DeRosa, because even David Ross, the former Cubs, who got done in by Craig Counsell, even David Ross is doing this. Think about what it means. It's like going to the Olympics in 92 in Barcelona, or in 2008 with that team that was just put into the Hall of Fame, though I may have the year wrong, the one with LeBron and Kobe and Coach K. What an all-star group of coaches. And the reason why the USA is putting together a team like this of managers is because they want to attract the best players, because the commissioner and the owners are very clear about one thing. If they're going to do the World Baseball Classic during spring training and they're going to risk injury to their players, both pitchers and position players, you can bet your sweet bippy that they want to win it all. So Rob Manfred was very clear to Michael Hill, I suspect, and very clear to Mark DeRosa, saying, listen, you got to put together a team and get yeses from the best players who are American adjacent, because we need to win. We would always joke around that to play on Team Italy, you had to have eaten at Olive Garden. And to play on Team Israel, you had to have known somebody who is Jewish. And Israel had a great team last WBC, you may remember. Italy made some noise. It's fun. It's fun the way teams are put together. We'll talk about it as we head into March, which players are on which teams. But yesterday, MLB and Michael Hill and Commissioner Rob Manfred made a big announcement. Aaron Judge is going to play for the first time in the WBC. Aaron Judge is going to play for Team USA. And the reason why that's so significant is that when we started the WBC, and I was a part of starting the WBC, and the decision to start the WBC, it was because we were butthurt that we were taken out of the Olympics, and we wanted to try to be like soccer and try to do something to drive revenue. And we wanted more inventory for our network. We wanted more inventory to sell as broadcast revenue that we could all share as we tried to level the playing field. There were myriad reasons for the WBC. Tons of arguments about when to do it. Some owners wanted to do it during the All-Star break. Some owners wanted to do it after the season. Some owners said spring training is probably the best time, but it's not ideal. The commissioner's office and the GM of the team, Michael Hill, will spend hours in soul-crushing conversations with owners and GMs who say, hey, we want the USA to win, but no, we're not going to give you our player. Tyler Glasnow gave an interview yesterday, the great pitcher for the Rays, who's now with the Dodgers, who said, yeah, I wanted to play, but the Rays said, no, thank you. Not doing that. And we would never go public with our nose. I was on the international committee. And so this was a part of what meant something to me in baseball, was expanding our game internationally and doing these sort of tournaments. So we never said no to anyone, much to the chagrin of our owner, who would have said no to everybody. And there's no real fact that Justin Steele got hurt because he pitched in Tokyo March 7th. It's a coincidence. There's no correlation that's ever been found because it's been studied. Edwin Diaz gets hurt. Coca's despondent. And I can't remember what team he was playing for, Coca, but he got the save, jumps up and down, wins the WBC, playing for Puerto Rico, and then boom, he's out for the year. You can't plan for that. It could have happened anytime, but it just becomes confirmation bias that when a player gets hurt who started the season early, you associate it with having started the season early. The Yankees and Hal Steinbrenner, I'm sure, were not jumping for joy that Aaron Judge is playing in the WBC. But the reason that Mike Hill is jumping for joy is that it is his view that the best chance he has of success, the best chance he has of winning the whole damn thing, is getting the best players. And the best chance that baseball has to grow the WBC, which is its dream to become the World Cup of soccer, the best way to do it is you got to take it as seriously as Japan does, as Venezuela does, as Puerto Rico does, and as the Dominican does. Because those players who are from those countries, they want to play for their countries, because for those of you who've been to Marlins Park for a WBC game between the Dominican Republic and Venezuela, you know very well it's an atmosphere that we want to recreate but can never recreate. For those who remember Shohei Ohtani for Japan striking out Mike Trout to end the WBC final in Miami, you can't plan greatness. You just have to put countries on the front of the jersey and greatness will follow. Aaron Judge said it exactly right when he gave his decision to MLB Network. He said, just getting a chance to represent this country, what this country means to me. Honestly, every game during the national anthem and God Bless America, getting a chance to sit out there, for me, it's a time to reflect about all the brave men and women that have fought for this country and given me the opportunity to step on a baseball field and play a game that I love. He continued, Now getting a chance to have USA across my chest and represent all the great people in our country and represent what this country means, it's a great opportunity. I never had this opportunity before, even growing up as a kid, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Aaron, I tip my chapeau to you because that quote, that interview you gave to MLB Network, that's exactly what our dream was that players would feel. That sort of patriotism, that sort of desire, not just to be the best, but to beat the best and to do it whenever it is that you have the opportunity, regardless of during spring training, whenever it may be. The USA is going to be one of the favorites, as they always are. And Michael Hill will continue to put together a team. Mark DeRosa, who I interviewed to be a manager and I knew would be a manager one day and will. It's going to be a great WBC. And to all my friends at the Le Batard Show who are still angry about various things for whatever reason that they shouldn't be, and if you're not thinking about that because you're part of the 93% who doesn't care about the fact that I ever worked for the Marlins, how about this? Marlins Park, yeah, Lone Depot Park, every round will be there, including the semis and the finals of the WBC. But for that ballpark, no chance, toilet pants. All right, time for a break. When we come back, I'm going to review a movie that you told me to watch. And then I'm going to take a small victory lap, and it's going to be very small because I want to be very careful because it is a very tenuous ledge that I'm standing on, but it feels darn good to tiptoe in the daisies. I'll explain that and more right after the break. It's David Samson coming at you live. How you doing? Please go to Nothing Personal with David Samson YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our channel. Please download our audio podcast. Subscribe on Apple and Spotify, and just tell your friends what we do here every day, because I think it's not just me and John Cocktoasting having fun. There's a bunch of people around. Join the party. Maybe, just maybe, you'll smile, learn something, and watch a movie every day, which I do. So many of you give me suggested movies to watch, and I love that. Please get to me at David P. Samson on Twitter, if you don't mind, or on Instagram, or at davidsamsonpodcast.com. You can go to the website. I keep a list. And now this is my phone. This is true. All of these things, if you're not watching, you don't know, but I'm scrolling and my finger gets a little tired because I probably have 70 or 100 movies on the list. And I watch them when I can because there's other things I'm watching too. And one of you told me to please watch Princess Sid, which I'd never heard of. And it was from 2017, which is 8 years ago. So I was sitting around last night staring at the ceiling, and I said, I've got an idea. I'm going to go watch a movie because I'm smart that way. And what else would you do at 3 a.m. when you're staring at the ceiling? Other than roll over with a nudge, you probably would say, oh, I guess I'm going to get up and watch a movie. Princess Sid is with Jesse Pinnock and Rebecca Spence. They play an aunt and a niece trying to figure out life together, trying to figure out love, trying to figure out sex, trying to figure out who to love, how to love, why to love, can you love? If so, do you need to love somebody? Do you have to love somebody because someone tells you that love is the thing? Love is the answer to everything. I mean, every song says it. And are you able to go at it alone? Are you able to love anybody you want, no matter what they look like, what sex they are? Are you allowed to go after the things that you actually enjoy? What if work is what you love and you'd rather not love a person? You want to love the thing you do. Is your love worse than someone else's love because they've got true love with Princess Buttercup, or they've been married for 69 years and they're in the 21 Square Club? You know what the 21 Square Club is, don't you? The 21 Square Club is when you and your partner, you and your spouse, you and your partner, you eat 3 meals a day together 7 days a week. The 21 Square Club. Do you know people in that club? I've never been invited to that club. Not sure I want to be in that club. Yes, I am. I don't want to be. I know what club I want to be in, Coca. I want to be in the Budenholzer and Vogel Williams Club. 21 Square. But Princess Sid is a really good movie, and it gets you thinking, what club do you want to be in? What club are you willing to be in? Nothing personal pick of the day.
Show me the money. Show me the money.
I'm doing the dice, baby. I'm doing the dice. I may even do the belt. I may do everything because I'm back at 500, baby. 40 and 40. I won again. I'm HO Triple T, and you got to ride the hot streaks. As much as you fade me when I stink, and believe me, I have no illusions that I'll step off the ledge and lose 14 of my next 16. But my God, am I getting them right? Scooball, Tigers over Brewers. Were you sweating at 2-0 in the first inning? Tigers. What about 4-0? What about 9-0? A few runners on base in the ninth inning. Shutout lost. Who cares? 9-1. Tigers win. The Tigers win. The Tigers win. I texted Coke and I said, dude, we're back at 500. He said, dude, you're still down 5 units. It is true that I'm still down money because we count these things. We count it with the odds from DraftKings. Odds subject to change after we give you our pick, but just be clear, we pay attention to this stuff. But I'm still happy to be back at 500. So this is an important night. It's when you claw your way back from down 15 in an NBA game, you pull within 2, and then all of a sudden there's a 9-1 run for the other team. It's when you're down 5 runs, you get the tying run to the plate in the ninth, and then you strike out. You get so close. I want to go over the top and never look back because that's what we also say. Just get to 500 when you're under 500 at any point in the season. Just get back to 500 and you'll go on a run. Interesting game we have tonight. We've got the San Francisco Giants playing the Philadelphia Phillies. And the reason I'm interested in this game is the pitching matchup. We've got the former Marlin, Mr. Luzardo, playing against the former Met and Astro, Mr. Verlander. Now, you would think to yourself that Justin Verlander of the San Francisco Giants, one of the best teams in the best division, NL West, probably just behind they only just behind the Padres. The Dodgers may have caught them with their win last night. But either way, the Giants have absolutely played fantastically. This is the amazing thing about the show when it's just me and Coca, that I can actually look during the show and tell you live that the San Francisco Giants are still a game ahead of the Dodgers at 12-4. And you'd think to yourself, hey, it would occur to me that Justin Verlander should be maybe a favorite. And then you realize that's Justin Verlander of today pitching, not the Justin Verlander Cy Young Award winner, Kate Upton's husband, who can dial it in. And Luzardo is one of the best pitchers. He's one of the top, I'd say, he's certainly one of the top 50 pitchers in baseball. Justin Verlander is not. So Luzardo is minus 155 over the Giants. And the Phillies, they've been really good. The Phillies are just a shade behind the Mets, 2 games back at 9-7. They've lost 2 in a row. We are taking the Phillies. Do you know why? Justin Verlander downright stinks. He's not a number 2 starter. Luzardo is a 2 or a 3. Justin Verlander is an 8-9 starter today. It doesn't mean he's not going into the Hall of Fame as a number 1 ballot. He is. But today is all we care about. As a matter of fact, Coca, if you don't mind, why would you? Wait to see when we tell you something's going to happen. If it does, great. If it doesn't, fine. We'll revisit it. By the end of this regular season, Justin Verlander will be DFA'd by the San Francisco Giants. He will be released, designated for assignment, because at some point the Giants are going to realize we're in this. We can't give the guy the ball. And frankly, when we don't give him the ball every 5 days, what's he going to do? Sit around and be a leader in the clubhouse? Come on. Designating a veteran pitcher, not always smart, but often necessary. Definitely difficult. Wait to see. Justin Verlander will be DFA'd by the San Francisco Giants. One of the reasons is that he's going to lose tonight to the Phillies. Tonight is also the start of the play-in tournament for the NBA. Tonight's games don't excite me much. I have no picks for the Warriors, Grizzlies, or the Magic Hawks. I'm going to watch it. I'm actually going to a play tonight, Coca, but I'll be back in time to watch the end of game 1 and all of game 2, Warriors-Grizzlies. Warriors are favored by 7, Magic favored by 5. Those are the current DraftKings odds. And I was thinking, the problem with tonight's game, it's 7 versus 8. The loser doesn't go home. So it's not like an elimination game. So it's just sort of like a regular season game. Because if 7 beats 8, then 7 becomes the 7th seed. If 8 beats 7, then 8 becomes the 7th seed. And your reward, Coca, as far as I can recall, in the Eastern Conference, the winner of the Magic Hawks game gets the reward, Coca, of playing the Boston Celtics. That doesn't seem like such a great reward, does it? I don't think it is, because the Cavaliers finished with the top seed, so 7 would play Boston. Now that seems fun. Warriors-Grizzlies, the winner of that game, gets to play the 2 seed, which is the Rockets. You really want to win that game, because while the Rockets are really good, the 8 seed has to play the Thunder, and it's game over in 4 games, maybe 5 games. So the irony is that 9 versus 10 is a game tomorrow, and the winner of 9-10 has to win another game against the loser of 7-8. And if whoever wins that game plays the Thunder. I'd rather play the Cavs than the Celtics. I'd rather play the Rockets than the Thunder. So there's a lot of interesting things going on. What exactly is your incentive to be the 7th seed if you're the Magic or the Hawks? But if you lose the game, then you have to make sure you win the next game, because if you lose the game against the 9v10 team, Hawks versus Bulls, then you're out of the playoffs altogether. So is there a strategy where the Magic and Hawks say, hey, I'm good losing tonight because I know I can beat either the Bulls, who have been really good, by the way, or the Heat, who occasionally can be good? I don't think you take the chance. I think you got to win the game and then try to see if you can maybe beat Boston, which you can't. But in terms of on the West, there is huge incentive for Warriors and Grizzlies. There is no sort of question. You want to win this game. Let's talk about Major League Soccer for a minute, because anytime, according to our analytics, if I do the following thing, good things happen to our numbers. So I'm going to take a second just to do this for you. Here we go. 4, 8, 6, 9. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Los Angeles Dodgers, Dallas Cowboys, New York Yankees. Do you like that? There's more. Messi, Manchester, Liverpool. Hard to imagine, but true. Super Bowl. I'm giving you keywords here. You know what else is really good that people like to hear? World Series, Marlins. I got to talk about Messi. Something came out yesterday. There's a report that Messi is negotiating a contract extension with Inter Miami. So Messi came to Inter Miami. It was long rumored. Jorge Mas, who was thinking of buying the Marlins, instead bought Inter Miami. He's building a stadium near the airport in Miami. I just flew into Miami when I was doing Dan's show, Le Batard's show, which starts in only 17 minutes live on his YouTube channel. Or if you're watching this on DraftKings Network, it's starting in either an hour and 17 minutes or 17 minutes, depending on which hour you're watching me currently, because it could be 9:43 or 10:43 a.m. But I digress. So that stadium's being built. And the dream was that Messi would play in the stadium for Inter Miami, such stadium being in Miami, because his whole career with Inter Miami has been in Fort Lauderdale. And I think that you'd agree that we've done a bunch of segments telling you that the business of MLS has been fine. The expansion fees have grown. The decision to go behind the paywall at Apple was wrong. But the reason why it's so important for Inter Miami to retain Lionel Messi is the impact that Don Garber, commissioner, MLS, Jorge Mas, owner, Inter Miami, and actually every other franchise in Major League Soccer. The reason that they need him to extend and stay in Miami is that's their best shot at increasing the asset values of not just Inter Miami, but of every team. Because what Messi was supposed to do upon entering, was supposed to continue with the work that David Beckham did when he joined the Los Angeles Galaxy, which you can look back and say worked for only David Beckham. And there's an argument to be made that so far it's working only for Messi. Now, the owner of Inter Miami would tell you, no, we have this ballpark that's being done. We have all this ancillary development. And then I would say, but Jorge, that's a real estate deal only. And he would say, yeah, but it's sort of good, the halo effect on Major League Soccer, because Messi is this global icon. Even Messi's wife is like this hugely important person, like a global fashion influencer. There is so much benefit in having them in the United States and in a city that has really good PR, given sort of infrastructure it has and the problems it has politically, spiritually, and from a weather and climate change standpoint. But Miami, it's pretty sexy. So you put that together and you're Don Garber and you say, we've got to get Inter Miami to finish this agreement with Lionel Messi. We've got to get him extended. They've got to play Inter Miami with Messi in this new stadium. It's going to be so good for television, so good for continued merchandise sales. Jorge Mas, as an owner, has had some quotes about this, and he's sort of pretty clear about what he wants. He said that his preference would be to get rid of the current Major League Soccer model, period, because he wants to compete at the global level. There's a reason why MLS is thinking about going to the international calendar. It didn't get approved by the owners, but it got approved for further discussion because it would have a definite impact on many of the teams in soccer. But when you want to become the best global league, you have to act like a global league. And Jorge Mas was pretty clear. In order to be a global league, you have to have the best players. The NBA is the best basketball league. It has the best players. Major League Baseball is the best baseball league. It has the best players. The NFL, there's a ton of football leagues around. NFL is the best players. It's pretty clear that Major League Soccer does not have the best soccer players in the world. Therefore, in order to do it, you got to have them come to the States, not just in the form of Messi. Jorge Mas's goal is in the next half a decade to have at least 15 to 20 of the top 50 players in the world play in Major League Soccer. Well, there's a few problems with that, Mr. Mas, and I would tell you directly when I text you later. Once I get your number from Mike, sure. The real problem is that there is no payroll capacity because of the cap in how players are paid. That's number one. Two, the reason why the financial system is what it is in Major League Soccer is because the revenues are not close and the public support is not close and the public financial support is not close. That happened just live on the show, and please forgive me. And so here is my goal. My goal, Jorge Mas said, is that we can fake it till we make it enough. But then, in order to be what we want and to actually realize the billion-dollar franchise valuations that they claim exist, in order to do that, you have got to get these players. Do you think that Don Garber, the commissioner of Major League Soccer, is going to allow such a sea change in how that league is operated before there is any proof at all, that those type of salaries and that type of payroll can be sustained by anybody, by any team? Jorge Mas is only able to sustain it because of all of the outside revenue that he expects to get from the development around his stadium. It's like a football stadium or a baseball stadium. And if that doesn't work, that's the end of Inter Miami. Don't kid yourself. What a bet that is being made. But the other franchises don't have that ability to make that bet. Think about this. The money that Major League Soccer is receiving as part of that ill-fated Apple deal. In order for getting the best players, you need the best broadcast deals. There is no network, not one network, who is willing to pay Major League Soccer the type of money that is required in order to hold up a league that has 15 to 20 of the top 50 players. And if you're going to be that league, you got to have 30 to 40, if not, wait for it, 50 of the top 50 players. Then you can talk about billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar valuations for your team. Or you could end up like hockey. Who knows? But I'll tell you one thing, Major League Soccer is going to try to find out because they've got higher aspirations. They want to get into the room where it happens with the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, and the NFL. They want to be in the conversation at all times. So Messi signing with Miami becomes the linchpin, the most important step to that, so they can look in the mirror at each other at the next owners meeting and say, hey, it's just business. We'll be back tomorrow. This is nothing personal.